Hi, welcome to Finding the Word. I am Melanie Brown. The word is fire. This is me, simply me giving excuses, giving reasons as to why I have not completed things that I'm supposed to be doing. And I heard myself saying, there's just all these fires I have to go put out. There's a fire over here burning, fire over here burning, and I have to deal with them. A fire is something that you just don't ignore, or else things can be destroyed. It can take over. It's an issue. It's a situation. So we don't leave fires, we deal with them. As a matter of fact, it was funny because now I'm thinking back, I was at Walmart not too long ago and I see these people in a little circle and water cups coming back and forth from a car and throwing water. And I'm like, okay, must be a little fire over there. And I see smoke. These people jumped on this thing because somebody had tossed a cigarette, it looked like, over in the mulch, and it caught a hold of something and began to burst into flames. People jumped on that thing. They were not leaving it. And because if you leave a fire, we know what's going to happen. And so this is the urgency that we feel about things in our life where a fire has erupted. And these things a lot of times are not what we think they are. That's the deal. There are times that there are very important things to address, and it's not that it isn't something that we need to address. But it's interesting how you can be on task. You have been instructed to do something. You have plans that day. You write down exactly what you're going to do, and you start to do it, and then here comes this big interruption. I have found that it used to be small things, but they seem big to me at the time. I've got to examine, I've got to talk to the Spirit about what is truly a real fire and what is not. Because what we can deem sometimes as this big emergency that takes all our attention is nothing but another distraction. It's nothing but something the enemy is using as a tactic that the Lord has told us that we have to be careful about, because the enemy is cunning, but he is seeking to destroy. So whether this is destroying the plans that you have that are moving you forward in what it is that God is having you to do, and that he comes with this distraction, the appearance of a fire that you've got to jump right on, an emergency, you have to take a step back and sometimes evaluate, is this truly an emergency? Or is this just the enemy taking me off of my task? This is where I am today, because some of the things that were used before, you can't use anymore. Used to be that different people would have a situation or what seemingly is a crisis, and you've got to stop everything and have conversations. And then at a point you realize, wait a minute. Now, these crises seem to keep coming up every time I sit down to get some things done. Let me give you some scriptures in the Word, and let me send you to talk to the Lord about some of these things that keep repeating. Or you have people with drama in their lives and relationships and things going on that take you over, where it feels like you got to go and have whole conversations, or they've said something to you cannot believe they said, and you got to talk about it. And it's really simply a distraction. So you learn to put it over in the Lord's box, give it to him, and get back to task. I got to recognize these fires that want to keep coming up and keep pulling me away from the things that I need to do. Fire took me to a couple of places, and it's dealing with the Lord as a devouring fire, God as a consuming fire. There's a couple of places, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 24, and I'm reading from 15. It's a warning against idolatry again. And there can't be enough of a warning. This is such a huge issue. There are so many things that are coming up in our lives that we have to realize that we are putting in a place too high, where we are showing worship towards other things that have been created by God, or people who have been created by God, and he is warning against it. So we have to take note. But be very careful. You did not see the Lord's form on the day he spoke to you from the heart of the fire of Mount Sinai. So do not corrupt yourselves by making an idol in any form, whether of a man or a woman, or an animal on the ground, a bird in the sky, a small animal that scurries along the ground, or fish in the deepest sea. And when you look up into the sky and see the sun, moon, and stars, all the forces of heaven, don't be seduced into worshiping them. The Lord your God gave them to all the peoples of the earth. And Paul, because this is a situation, we know that people worship in the moon and the stars and sun and all of this. He's given it to everyone. We are not to be worshiping them. These are things that are created. We talked about the earth a while back and people worshiping Mother Earth and all that. This is created. We don't pray to the earth. We don't pray to the stars, the moon. They are creations. Verse 20, remember that the Lord rescued you from the iron smelting furnace of Egypt in order to make you his very own people and his special possession, which is what you are today. But the Lord was angry with me because of you. He vowed that I would not cross the Jordan River into the good land the Lord your God is giving you as your special possession. You will cross the Jordan to occupy the land, but I will not. Instead, I will die here on the east side of the river. So be careful not to break the covenant the Lord your God has made with you. Do not make idols of any shape or form, for the Lord your God has forbidden this. The Lord your God is a devouring fire. He is a jealous God. In the future, when you have children and grandchildren and have lived in the land a long time, do not corrupt yourselves by making idols of any kind. This is evil in the sight of the Lord your God and will arouse his anger. This really covers a lot of areas. We have a lot of areas now. There are so many different things. I mean, they were not playing video games. They were not on ChatGPT and all of these things. There were not all these programs and characters on programs and series and shows that people are literally worshiping. They're coming before anything. I don't know if they have football teams and all of that, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't an NFL like that to where people are worshiping their sports. Come on. It's the truth. And so they're not to be idols made of any kind. This is anything. It is evil in the sight of the Lord. We're moving on to Hebrews. This is also showing God as a consuming fire. Hebrews 12:29. This is referencing Moses on that mountain again. We're going to start with verse 18 and reading through 29. You have not come to a mountain that can be touched and that is burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, and storm, to a trumpet blast, or to such a voice speaking words that those who heard it begged that no further word be spoken to them, because they could not bear what was commanded. If even an animal touches the mountain, it must be stoned to death. The sight was so terrifying that Moses said, I am trembling with fear. But you have come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. You have come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. See to it that you do not refuse him who speaks. If they did not escape when they refused him that warned them on earth, how much less will we if we turn away from him who warns us from heaven? At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. The words once more indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe. For our God is a consuming fire. And there it is again, a devouring fire, a consuming fire. So now we're going to take a look at God as a consuming fire and looking at what this metaphorically describes. And this is his absolute holiness, his intense purity, and his righteous judgment. And it means that God is not tame. He is powerful. The refining fire is going to show up as God removing our unholy thoughts, removing our sinful nature and actions from our life. It's going to also show up as reverence and awe in our worship when we have absolute holiness and purity. So then we see as God consumes us with his holy fire that we are transformed. Ultimately, it balances what we have as our perception of God, and he is loving, with the reality also that he is perfectly holy and that he is demanding a response of awe and of gratitude and of our purification. I believe that it is a daily task to look at areas of idolatry in our life. It is a daily and continual task to look for things that we are inching up into an area of worship, into an area where it comes above the things of God, into a place where we are not willing to let go of it to serve the Lord in ways that He has asked us to serve Him. Things that are blocking us from the blessings of the Lord, that are blocking us from obedience. And get rid of anything that is standing in the way. Coming back around to fire in the first place, we are also asking the Spirit to show us what things are truly emergencies, truly things that we need to deal with, and just things that are distractions in our life, keeping us from our focus on the work of the Lord or the task at hand. Don't forget to find the Word. I will see you soon.